Last Saturday, on June 5th, 2021, I met a descendant of Blackjack John Kehoe, and she showed me his personal sword cane, and I thought I would pass on this story. Since my old man was a coal miner back in the 1970s on the Ohio River, I found this story fascinating. My old man died early at 52 years old, in part because of the diesel fumes saturating the air down in the coal mines. But he got paid well in the 1970s dollars, when the government handouts were not so common. This is an American story, a story for coal miners, a story of the Irish coming to the Appalachian hills to make an almighty greenback dollar. Times were rough back then, and the people were rougher. I know for a fact that my old man was 10 times tougher than me, and his old man was 10 times tougher than him. And surely, without a doubt, Americans are getting weaker and weaker thanks to the liberal brainwashing school system. Today, these snowflakes would literally go into shock just meeting an Appalachian coal miner of the caliber I grew up with, a dying, extinct breed, and America will miss them for sure. So, without further ado, I give you the story of Blackjack John Kehoe, a famous Molly Maguire.
He was my fifth great grandfather.
Oh, your fifth great grandfather.
Yep. His daughter Laura was my great grandmother.
And what was his name?
His name was Jack Kehoe.
And he was one of the Maguires?
Yep, he was the head of it.
The head of and Sean Connery
Played him in the movie.
Your fifth great grandfather?
Yep.
Wow, Sean Connery, I love that movie.
Yeah.
And he owned this.
And he owned this. Yep.
Okay, wow. That's so cool. You think it came from Ireland?
Probably.
That is so cool. It's got a little face on there.
Right?
So you guys, now what was the name of the city back there where the Maguires came from?
So now it's called Jim Thorpe.
Uh-huh.
And that's where he was raised, but he was hung in Pottsville.
He was hung in Pottsville?
Yeah, he was the last person hung in the county.
The last one they hung?
Last one they hung before they changed over to the electric chair in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
And then he got pardoned because the two murders that they killed him for, he did not commit.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Well, but he wasn't innocent.
No, he was. But your family have lores of the things he did when he went down in the coal mine. He did some pretty.
Well, the Molly Maguires came about because they were unionizing the miners, and the bosses were Germans.
Oh,
And
okay.
we had two Catholic churches until 1996.
Right.
We had the German Catholic and we had the Irish Catholic
Oh, I didn't know that.
in our town,
In your
the small
town.
town, because they would not mix.
The company guys were German, and the Irish went down and did the work.
Yep.
My dad was a coal miner.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
He in a McElroy coal mine.
My
okay.
relatives were the ones that helped unionize the miners.
Yeah, my dad was a union man because of your grandfather,
relative.
your relatives.
Yeah.
They had to fight for. I mean, it was a war down there.
Yep.
It was a war. That was a great movie with Sean Connery.
Yep.
And he represented your
Here's a little funny story.
Okay.
So they were trying to get the movie made in the 70s. My great grandmother, we called her Mem Laura. She was born in 1900, died in 1980. They sent Sean, because she was the living relative, so she had to, because it's an autobiography, they have to have the living relative sign off on it, on a film.
Oh, really?
So
Wow.
they sent him thinking, because he had just became famous with the Bond movies, we'll send him to get her to sign the papers.
Right.
Came up to the house.
She'll fall in love with
Right. No. She looks. She opens the door. She looks. She goes, "Hi, I'm Sean Connery. I was wondering. I don't care who the fuck you are. Get off my porch."
She told Sean Connery that.
Yep.
And she came to. Did she ever sign? Was
Nope.
She never did sign.
Nope. She never signed. They took her to court
Oh, they took her to court.
They had to take her to court.
They had to take her to court.
to get it made.
But the movie was made.
Yep.
She was the last surviving, or the head of.
Yeah, because you only have to do children and grandchildren, and she was his child.
Oh, she was a child of this. Jack,
Yes.
and his full name was Jack.
John Kehoe was his proper name. They just called him Jack.
John Kehoe,
Yeah.
but they called him Jack.
Yeah. There's
What
all kinds of news articles.
Oh,
And,
sure. What a cool story. I mean, that's history back there.
Yeah.
And it's coal mining region. The
Yeah.
Appalachian hillbillies. I mean,
Yeah.
technically he was an Appalachian hillbilly, right?
Yes, technically.
Yeah.
Because we were in the Appalachian Mountains.
There you go. Thank you.